going live really early, and there's probably going to be very few of you on because it's a Saturday morning at like 8:45, and why are you up? But I had this massive download just now, and download is a word that I actually don't even want to use because it is so freaking trendy on the gram right now, and it's very annoying to me because people make it mean stuff that like I don't think it means. But anyway, bear with me as I make my way through this because I'm trying to verbalize something that came to me like 15 minutes ago, but I was in the shower, so I couldn't go live because like I wasn't dressed. So I'm actually really annoyed that I had to wait 15 minutes to get this out. But here's what I want to talk about. I watched a reel yesterday, maybe the day before, by Mel Robbins. If you guys don't follow Mel Robbins, go follow her because she's got some really brilliant stuff. But what she said was that she has finally figured out what the meaning of life is. And she said the meaning of life is love. And like, I agree with that, but I think it is massively incomplete. So the download that I just had, and let me backtrack real quick and talk about what I mean by download, because it's also very, I don't want to use the word trendy, but it's very common and talked about a lot now that a lot of people are, going to do psychedelics in the jungle to connect with what their brain's actually producing. And I have massive respect for that. One of my dear friends is currently going through that. But my brain is just way too pragmatic for that to work that way. So when I have a download, it means that I am in a place where I am still and my brain can focus, and it usually happens while I'm in the shower or while I'm driving. But stuff just connects for me. I get massive amounts of clarity. So I had this moment of massive amount of clarity just now in the shower. And it was triggered by what Mel said in her, sorry, I should have put my phone on, do not disturb. It was triggered by what Mel said in her reel the other day about finding the meaning of love. To her, it is, the meaning of life, rather. To her, it's love. To me, that's massively incomplete. And what it means to me, and the part that I want to talk about today, is for me, it means never having a what if. Never having a what if through the process, because in the end, what are you going to do with the what ifs? And let me explain. Before I ever got married, I lived a massively single life. I did all the things. I did all the single things through my 20s before I ever met my husband. I lived with different people beforehand. I had multiple long-term boyfriends, not at the same time, don't make it weird, but I lived that single life. So when I met my husband and we were talking about a lifetime together, I never for an iota of a moment had that question of what if. And let me dive even deeper into that. When he and I met, or my husband and I met, and I promise I have a point, and I promise I'm going to tell you how it relates back to business, so just bear with me. This was the download, okay? I'm giving to you straight whatever came to me. When he and I met, we knew within weeks, like within 2 or 3 weeks, that this was it. This was my soul's mate. This was it. And I was so pissed off about it because I wasn't in a place where I wanted this to be it, but this was it. So we were together for 2 years, lived together, all the stuff, and then shit got real, and then shit got hard, and we broke up for like 2 months. And like we did the mourning and the grieving and all that stuff, right? But for those 2 months, we both fully re-embraced the single life. We both went and did things that single people did, and then recognized like, well, okay, no, like that has been explored. That has completely been explored. That is done. That is over. There's no question of what if. There was no question of what if we missed that single life. We explored that shit. It was done. We got married, and we will be married 16 years next month. There has never been a moment of, holy shit, did we explore the what if? Same thing when I had kids. We had kids. We had 3 kids. We had 4 pregnancies in less than 4 years. We had a miscarriage in the middle of that. And after that first kid, we were like, it doesn't feel done. After that second kid, we were like, it still doesn't feel done. Literally the first sentence I said after we had that third baby, after I checked that she was okay, was, and we're never doing that again. This is it. This is complete. There was never a question of what if. I have never questioned parenthood since. I have never questioned marriage since. I have never questioned any of the choices I've made after I had completely explored the what if. So how does that relate to business, and why am I telling you this? Through all of that, through all the, I felt secure in parenthood and secure in my marriage and secure in all of those things. In the back of my mind, there was always that little moment of like, but I had all these dreams about me beforehand. I had all of these thoughts about what I want to do before all of that. And I had left those sitting because I was busy with the reality of right now we're dealing with this. We're dealing with kids and we're growth and all of this other stuff. And I had to make a decision that I did not want to look back 15 years from now and go, what if? So the what if to me meant not even what if I could build a business that could make boatloads of cash. That wasn't even it. It was what if I never can look back and say I did all of the things that were in my brain that I was excited about, that I had to share, the magic that I have to give. And what if I had never decided to step into that role and fully do it, no matter the outcome? What if I had never decided there's no alternative? What if I had never decided that I was going to just openly share and be vulnerable, and it didn't matter how quickly people followed, that I was just going to do it? I didn't want that what if 15 years from now, 30 years from now. So when I decided to start my business without anything that had anything to do with my husband, without anything that had anything to do with parenting or my past or whatever, and I just decided to start my business, it was in the middle of COVID, first of all, because I was sitting there going, if anything is ever an eye-opener, how about a pandemic every 100 years, and it wipes out chunks of humanity, and you are suddenly confronted with your reality of like, holy shit, this is the moment. And I decided that I didn't want a what if. So when Mel said meaning of life is, love, for me, it is more love the fact that you know that you've made all the choices that exclude the what if. I don't have to question whether or not I gave all of it. I don't have to question whether or not I fully tapped into this is what's inside of me and I need to bring this out. I don't have to question whether or not I can do it. I don't have to question whether or not I feel fulfilled, not just as a wife and as a mother and as a friend and all of these amazing things, but as me. Have I tapped into everything that I have to say and that I want to share? And that actually, the reason this came through this week is because earlier this week, I had a conversation with both my mentor and with one of my best friends about feeling like, because I'm a manifester, for those of you who are into human design, if you're not, look it up, because I didn't believe either until I did a few years ago. But anyway, I'm a manifester, which means I have breakthrough thoughts, and I have thoughts that don't make sense to a lot of people. And I have thoughts that mean I'm about to go make a big move, and I just need to go make the big move and not ask other people if the big move makes sense. And I did that for a really long time in my life. But so earlier this week, I had this moment, full vulnerability here, where I was super frustrated because I am in the process of making a bunch of big moves, and people around me don't always move at the same speed. So the people in my world, the people that follow what I do, the people that are on a similar path, don't move at the same speed at which I do, and not in such sudden bursts like I do. Because this is just how I function. This is how I functioned my whole life. And I used to question that. I used to question whether that was the way I was meant to function or there was something wrong with me. There isn't. It's literally how I'm supposed to be. So the difference between me 20 years ago and me now is the difference between Mel knowing the meaning of life and not knowing. For me, it came through with such clarity that there isn't a what if to be had, that I don't get to sit still and wait because other people might not be moving as quickly as I am. Because then I will be left with a what if. And the what if does not move me forward. And the what if will leave me longing and lacking in the future because I didn't do the thing that needed to be done now. So I move. I move even when other people aren't moving as quickly as I am. I move even when other people don't fully get it. I move even when the vision that I now see, because there's clarity, seems ridiculously far removed from the vision that other people are currently seeing and following. And I do it anyway because I don't want the what if, because I know for a fact that no matter whether the path I go works out or not, and side note, it always has. It has never not worked out. But no matter what, I didn't leave a what if on the table. So the reason I felt the need to share this is because I see this as the number one obstacle, and I hate quantifying it because it's qualitative, it's hard to quantify, but I truly, if I had to quantify it, it is the number one obstacle that I see with you guys, with me, with everyone who's trying to establish something and do something. We worry about the what if. We worry, what if no one likes it? What if no one gets it? What if no one buys it? What if one person buys it and now there's only one person? What if, what if, what if? I want you to switch that. What if you don't do it? And then what? Because then in 2 years, in 5 months, in 7 days, in a decade, you're going to look back and go, what if I had just done that thing? What if I had just decided I was going to be brave and I was going to do it anyway? Because it isn't about what other people do when you move. It isn't about what other people do when you move. It is about the fact that you moved. Because the other people aren't going to wonder, what if she had done that other thing? The other people are busy sitting in their own stillness and not moving. The only control you have is to decide whether or not you're willing to live with the what if. So don't, because what are you going to do in the future? Imagine, and you hear this a lot because I gave this example earlier of marriage. So many people get frustrated by marriage because I don't think they fully lived in the what if before. We fully lived in the what if. Both he and I had long-term partners before we became each other's partners. Both of us spent together a lot of time childless before we had children. Both of us have been open to moving and trying new things and completely uprooting our lives and starting scary businesses and failing at things because both of us don't want the what if. Both of us don't want to sit here later and question decisions and be frustrated at how stuff has turned out because we left the what if on the table. And the what if is scary as shit. Let me just be clear on that. It is scary. Like we have taken loans against mortgages in the past and shit has failed. But you know what we didn't do in the end? We didn't wonder what if we had tried that business because we knew, because we did it. And we still stepped out of the other things. We were fine because we're always going with the next avoidance of what if. When you get stuck, when you start sitting in that one, like this thing didn't turn out the way I wanted to, so now I'm scared to challenge the next one, then that's all you're ever going to do. So you want the meaning of life, my interpretation of it with my very wise 40-some years at this point. Mel Robbins, I love you, and I think the meaning of life definitely includes love, but I think it's more love for the not leaving things unexplored. Love for the, have I looked at the what if? Have I decided that everything I want to do and be and see and experience and produce and create and share has been done? Because again, that whole thing with, I'm not on my deathbed, thank goodness, but whatever, that thing that people always say, the one thing that you're not going to regret on your deathbed is not having tried, or having tried rather, like you're not going to regret having tried. So instead of shifting your focus on, I need guarantees that this is going to do X, or I need guarantees that this is going to do Y, shift your focus to the what if. What if I don't do it? How am I going to feel in a year? Or 10 years from now, looking back going, what if I had taken that leap? What if I had tried? So you're going to see me continue to move, whether people move at the same speed as I do or not, whether people see the big vision that I see now, or they need 6 more months or 6 more years, and hopefully not 6 more decades, because they will look back and go, what if? So do the thing. Whatever that thing is, whatever the thing is that's driving you, that you want to say out loud, that you want to go on Instagram on and can't wait to share, even though people may not get it. And even though people might pop on and then they might pop off, and you might have 10 people and you might have 100 people, you might have 1 person, you might have 0 people. Say the thing that you are drawn to say because you don't want to later have a what if. Because the one guarantee you have that if you don't do it, if you don't move, then nothing will happen. That is a guarantee with pretty much anything. If you sit still, you don't do anything, nothing will change. And if things change around you, it is not because you made it happen. It's not in your favor. It's not because of you. It's because of coincidence and other people moving. But are you moving in that process? Or are you stuck in what if?